Hey guys, welcome to the YouTube channel. We're gonna be doing a follow-up video to a video we posted a couple of days ago. Might have been yesterday, I'm not quite sure, but it was the 3 reasons why you're being held back. You're either stuck, you're lost, you're overwhelmed, one of those 3 things. And today we're gonna show you the 5 ways to overcome those 3 things. So let's get into it. So step 1, guys, out of the 5 steps is know who you are. You've got to figure out exactly who you are, and the way we're gonna help you out with that is squatting up with other people. Go to the free Creative Finance with Pace Morby Facebook group and download the PDF down below. If you're a brand new newbie and you've never done a deal, you need to say that. Like, I'm a newbie, I've never done a deal. Here's how I'm gonna get started. I'm gonna get right into the business. Chad, do you think the first thing you should do when you jump in this business is go build a multifamily apartment complex? Definitely not. So don't be watching people's content on building multifamily developments. That's not a good fit for you. You need to know who you are. What is your personality? Have you taken a personality test, by the way? You know what we should do? We should make a link to Tony Robbins' personality test. It will give you a little bit more insight into who you are, or you can go read the book Rocket Fuel. I know, based on the book Rocket Fuel, that I'm a visionary. I should not be sitting behind a computer. I should not be doing paperwork. I should not be doing any of those things that require tedious, monotonous action. I need to be out creating worlds and fighting dragons and doing unique things every individual day. And I need to be with other people. I need to talk to people. It's really where I need to be. Now, is that who you are? Or are you somebody more like my business partner, Cody Barton? Cody Barton doesn't like talking to sellers. Guys, I love talking to sellers, as you can see on my channel. So I know who I am. So I know that when I'm watching people's content, I'm not gonna watch somebody's content on how to pull a list or how to skip trace this, because you know why? I'm never going to do that myself. I tell my partner, Cody, get me on the phone, bro. Let me close a deal. Let me close a deal. But when somebody's like, hey, comp this for me or do this paperwork, I'm like, who is going to do that for me, right? I don't ever wanna do those things, so know yourself. And the PDF down below is actually going to give you a list of avatars. There's wholesalers, there's fix and flippers, there's creative finance people that want to focus on that. Are you a real estate agent? Are you a lender? You know you might be a lender. We have Yara. Yara, one of my private lenders, is staying in my home right now. She realized I don't want to be out there doing deals and cold calling and doing all that kind of stuff. I've got enough money that I just want to lend it to people like you and get a return. Are you sure that is not you? A lot of people that jump in this business are like a year into it and saying, I'm struggling. Perfect example. One of my students, she's been in other programs. She's been trying to get her first deal for 2 years. And so what I told her name is Robin. I won't say her last name just in case she sees this video and gets mad at me. But Robin's like, I've never even touched a transaction. I've never been the transaction coordinator. I've never done the admin. I've never done the cold call, the follow-up. I just have never been part of a completed successful transaction. And I'm like, you know, there's like 18 people that touch these transactions. Which one of these people do you want to be? And long story short, I found out that she should be focusing her time and energy as a transaction coordinator, not somebody cold calling and texting and doing all of the things. But guess what? I would never want to be a transaction coordinator myself. However, a good transaction coordinator can make 20 grand a month or more. So know who you are. The best way to do that is click down below. There's a PDF that has all the avatars and you can go through and figure out which one you are with that PDF. All right, so step 2 is probably one of my favorite pieces of advice that I would go back and tell myself that I was really proud of myself for doing. And it's called hugging toilets. It's a really weird phrase that I tell myself or tell other people. When I first started in construction, I had to wear hats that I really shouldn't have been wearing. For example, my painters, when I was in construction and I would hire a painter, a lot of times painters would be like, I am a sprayer and a roller. I am not doing the taping and the prep. I'm not doing the caulking. And so I had to figure out, well, if I have really good painters with a really good price, but they're not willing to do these things, I need to be the business owner and fill in the gaps and do those things, even though it might not be the best use of my time in that moment. There were moments where I was having to hug toilets, where I literally had to put my chest on the seat of a toilet, reach behind the toilet and get the masking paper and the tape to make sure that the toilet was completely covered so that my paint sprayer could go through and spray the bathroom out, right? And get all the paint where it was supposed to go and not where it wasn't supposed to go. I remember the feeling of the last toilet I ever had to hug and telling myself, I'm glad I've hugged hundreds of toilets because I was able to be on the job site, I was able to fill in the gaps, I was able to do the things that nobody else was going to come in and do, the things I couldn't hire somebody to do. So guys, you have to hug toilets. You have to do the hard work that may not be a perfect fit for your personality. You have to do the things. You know how many times I did things I didn't want to do? Still, I do things that I don't want to do, but I know they have to be done until I make enough money that I can delegate them to somebody else. Really good story. 2 days ago, I'm in Salt Lake City. Jerry Norton, Cody Sperber, Jamil Damji, Carlos Reyes, a bunch of other amazing people are all there. And we get this young gentleman, him and his 3 partners go and make $110,000 in this business in like 30 to 60 days. Really relatively short time frame. Here they are a year after that, and they're like, Pace, Jamil, Cody Sperber, Carlos Reyes, Jerry Norton, we have a question for you. We haven't made any money since we had that really good, strong run of like 30, 60 days. We made 110 grand and we haven't made any money since then. And we're like, how is that possible? Like, obviously you made the money. Like, how is it that a year's gone by and you haven't made any money? And we found out by us collectively asking them questions that they took their $110,000 and they went and invested in other things like e-com and some other silly things. And what happened is they stopped doing the work that got them the $110,000. They stopped making the calls. They stopped filling out the paperwork. They were like, no, we're going to delegate it to people. And then they took like 20 grand of their $110,000 and they delegated it to people that didn't know what they were doing. And then when we asked them, well, when was the last time you talked to a seller yourself? They said, well, about 2 weeks before we got our $110,000. And I'm like, how is it that you don't see the equation here? You stopped doing the work. It's like a photographer saying, I haven't made money from my photography business in like a year. I don't know what to do. I'm like, okay, well, are you not collecting the payments from your clients? Like, what's going on? Well, no, I haven't been taking photos of my clients. I stopped doing photos. What are you talking about? Guys, this happens, believe it or not, in real estate frequently. People go through the actions that get deals done, and then the second they make some money, they stop because either they just got comfortable or B, they're like, that was really hard, and not realizing that the next time they do it, it's not gonna be as hard. And the next time they do it, it won't be as hard, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, until you master the craft. So many people do the hard things for a short burst of time, make money, prove concept, and then immediately want to start abandoning the things that got them there in the first place. So I call it hugging toilets. Are you doing the things that other people don't want to do? Do you know how many times I freaking hugged toilets? Hundreds and hundreds of times when I was just starting out as a contractor. And I wouldn't be where I'm sitting right now, successful in real estate, basically retired from real estate, if I hadn't been putting my face that close to where people take a shit. So have you been hugging toilets in your business? The answer probably is not. You got to figure that out. All right, so number 3 on how to overcome the reasons why you're lost, you're overwhelmed, etc. So we've got number 1, know who you are. Number 2, you've got to put in the work. You've got to hug the toilets. And number 3, know what you want. I know what I want. This year, I know exactly what I want. If I read through my goals, I'll read through some of them real quick. I want 24 more Airbnbs through subject to and seller finance deals. Now, last year, I bought a little over 30. So I'm actually pulling it back a little bit, not because I don't want more money, it's because I want to start focusing a little bit more of my time learning a new skill, a new trade, because I'm starting to elevate because I started delegating to other people the tasks and the hard work that I did in the past. I did it for a long enough period of time that I can now divert some of my attention away from one thing and focus on a new thing. What I'm going to be focusing a lot more time and energy on is doing multifamily, utilizing creative finance. So that's one thing, 24 Airbnbs. Another goal of mine is I want to acquire more mobile home parks. I want to acquire more multifamily. I have a goal to acquire $20 million this year in multifamily real estate, $20 million. So I lowered one goal and raised the other one up, just kind of understanding myself. You should not have the same goals. You should have completely unrelated goals. If you're brand new, you've never done a deal, well, your first goal should be, am I part of Pace's free Facebook group where I can get access to Pace's students? Am I part of maybe another community? Am I part of a mentorship where people are successfully doing deals? Am I around other people? That's step 1. You need to be around other people. And 2, do you know what you want? If you've never done a deal before, then go get your first deal. That should be your goal, right? How do I get my first deal in the next 30 days. So that's number 3. Number 4. Number 4 is be a professional. This one's a really big one because I get a lot of people that are babies. Again, going back to the meetup that I just had with Cody Sperber, Jerry Norton, Jamil Damji, we had Carlos Reyes, and also world's greatest realtor, Colton Lindsay, all at this meetup. And we get this gentleman that goes, I need motivation. Can one of you guys motivate me? I need motivation. I need you guys to motivate me. I'm like, do you think any one of us on this stage has somebody motivating us in the morning? Do you think somebody's like waking me up, calling me, texting me, saying, Pace, let's get motivated? Do you ever think I'm going to a meetup and asking somebody to motivate me? No. Like, why do I have to motivate you? Professionals motivate themselves. Michael Jordan was the greatest of all time because he made a hard job look easy. He never complained. He put in the work. He hugged the toilets. Kobe Bryant was the greatest of all time. Yes, he had records. Yes, he was the MVP. Yes, he was the dude. But the reason being is he was a professional. He never complained. Nobody had to motivate him. Nobody had to come and shake him and say, get to work, man. What's your why? Your family needs you to be successful. Do you think Kobe or Michael Jordan or anybody for that matter that's been ultra successful has needed somebody to motivate them? Professionals don't need people to motivate them from exterior sources. Yes, I get motivated by looking at other people, but I'm doing that for myself. I motivate myself. I know when it's time to put it in another gear, push down the gas. Nobody has ever had to call me to motivate me. So be a professional, be somebody that actually motivates themselves. And number 5, holy crap, this one's the best advice. Make more mistakes. Make way more mistakes. In fact, in my Subto mentorship, we just started this award called the Screw Up Award, where once a month, we're gonna choose one student that made the biggest screw up, and we're going to glorify the mistakes. We are going to applaud the failures. We're going to applaud people that are putting challenges in front of themselves so they can go through and stretch, because resistance breeds growth, all right? So if you're not failing, you're not trying. That's all there is to it. Donovan Richard is calling me. Don Rich.
Mr. Morby, how's it going, sir?
What up, brother? I'm in the middle of a YouTube video. How you doing?
Oh, pretty good. I apologize. I was calling to see if you wanted to go in on 12 duplexes here in Dallas, all rented at $2,000 a door, creative.
Wow, potentially. What's the entry fee? What's the cash?
Entry fee we're looking at is 1.4. We're looking at $20,562 a month.
Okay.
Currently on that, not including our private money and what we would have to pay them, I was estimating it at somewhere around 8 to 9%.
Okay.
That we would have to give back to them. So we'd be looking at somewhere.
How many duplexes?
12. So 24 doors, $2,000 a door. So we're looking at $48,000 a month.
Awesome.
Gross cash flow.
Yeah, I'm interested. It wouldn't be all my cash. I could bring the private money to the table though.
Okay.
You want to send me an email and give me the details?
Yeah, I'll shoot it over to you now.
Amazing. Good stuff.
And when you get here this weekend, if you wanted to, we can go look at everything.
Oh, that'd be dope.
I'll set everything up. I'll shoot you an email.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you.
Not a problem.
All right. So I guess that's 24 units that's going to go against my 500 unit total, and it's, I don't know the purchase price. He didn't say the purchase price today. He didn't say the purchase price, but guys, this is what happens. You just shake things up, things happen. Okay, send me an email. Let's figure it out. Get into the trenches. Start making mistakes. And you know what? I might not end up buying that deal that Donovan just called me about, but sure as hell, I'm gonna learn a couple things about it and why I don't or do like the deal. I'm gonna make so many mistakes. Purposely, I'm going to make mistakes. Sometimes I run into things just so I can learn. So guys, if you're not taking action and making mistakes, you're never going to be successful. In fact, the more mistakes I make, the more successful I am. Isn't that the weirdest equation? Wouldn't it be great if like in high school and college that was like, all right guys, Business 101, open up your textbooks, page 1, we're gonna be talking about in order to be successful, you have to fail. And then they actually taught you, here's stories about how I failed and I grew, and then I had better expectations and I learned this, because we all have muscle memory and we also have memory inside of our brain. So we remember how we felt when we were going through a previous situation. We remember how we felt when we were on the phone with a seller, and that it's not the end of the world when somebody tells you no. Okay, you can read all about this stuff and you can watch all my YouTube videos as long as you want, but if you're not taking action and making mistakes, you're never going to be successful. So go down below again, make sure you guys are joining the free Facebook group, and then you're also downloading the PDF where you guys can go through and there's a construct. So basically it's going to help you with the 3 reasons why you're lost and overwhelmed and the 5 reasons or the 5 ways that you can overcome those. So we're gonna go through it one more time. Number 1, know who you are. Are you a newbie that just needs to get their first deal? Well, then don't go watch multifamily stuff. right? Don't go watch how to raise private capital if you just need to get your first wholesale deal or you need to get your first deal, okay? Number 2, hug toilets. You gotta do the nitty gritty work. You gotta do the paperwork. You know, it's really interesting. I was listening to my wife talk to somebody that was like, I hate paperwork. Okay, well then you need to sit down with paperwork right before you go to bed. If it's a 3-page contract, read up 1 paragraph a night right before you go to bed until you've memorized that contract, until you know that contract so well that you no longer hate paperwork. Now, it doesn't mean you need to do paperwork. It's just walk right into your fears, hug the toilets, do the things that you really don't want to do in order to get to places where you want to be. Number 3, know what you want. Do you have a goal? Do you have a specific goal? If you don't, you're just consuming content. Stop it. Number 4, be a professional. Don't ask other people to motivate you. Motivate yourself. Be a big boy or a big girl. And number 5, make mistakes. Fail forward. That's all there is to it. But download the PDF down below. And in the process of going down below, you're going to see the like button, you're going to see the subscribe button, and the notification bell. Hit all of those bad boys for us. And more importantly, here's what I want. Tell me what you need help with on this YouTube channel and we'll provide it for you. Eric will provide it for you. Giselle will provide it for you. Kelly will provide it for you. We'll script out exactly what you need on this channel and we'll provide it. Give us that attention in the comments. Let us know exactly what you need and we'll see you in the next YouTube video.